To call to order the North Branford Planning and Zoning regular meeting for August 21st, 2025 at 6:30 on the dot. Please rise, remove your cap, and join me in saluting the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I'd like to introduce the members of the commission seated here tonight. To my left is Ron Sienna, regular member of the commission. To his left is Barry Ponder, secretary for the commission. To his far left is Chris Heon, regular member of the commission. To my far right is Kim Slater, our recording secretary, and at the administrative table this evening is David Perkins, our town planner. And finally, my name is Robert Nowak. I'm the chairman for the commission seated here tonight. Next order of business is to consider the approval of minutes for July 10th, 2025. I'd ask commission members to review the minutes if you haven't already. Let me know if there's any questions, concerns, or changes you'd like to make, and then when you're ready, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes as revised if necessary.
So you only have two.
Oh, we're missing, that's right.
Can't do it.
We need one more, right, Dave?
Yep.
Okay. I was hoping Paul was going to come, but no, he was absent anyway. Chris, Barry, oh, Bill. Gotcha. So we're going to table the minutes for July 10th until we have a quorum to approve the minutes. So that's tabled. Next item on the agenda is a public hearing of possible action for application 2025-6, 10 Caputa Road, R40. I'd ask the secretary of the commission to read into the record the public notice.
Dated July 30th, 2025, please insert the following legal ad in the sound on Thursday, August 7th, 2025, and Thursday, August 14th, 2025. Legal notice, North Branford Planning and Zoning Commission. Notice is hereby given that the North Branford Planning and Zoning Commission will hold a public hearing at 6:30 p.m. on Thursday, August 21st, 2025, at the North Branford Town Hall, 909 Foxton Road, North Branford, Connecticut, to consider the following. A, application number 2025-6, 10 Caputa Road, special use permit request under section 44.6.1.f for the construction of an oversized detached garage, 40 by 30, 1,200 square feet for vehicle storage in the rear yard. Owner, applicant, Matthew Izzo. At this hearing, all interested persons may appear and be heard, and written communications will be received. Copies of proposals are on file for public inspection in the Town Hall Planning Department. Robert Nowak, Chairman.
Thank you, Barry. So this is a public hearing. I want to run through just a procedure of how we are going to conduct the public hearing. Purpose of the meeting is to hear all pertinent testimony of those in support of and opposition to the application before the commission. I understand there's only one person in the audience, but it's good practice for the chairman since he's been out of touch for a while. So bear with me. The procedure for the public hearing is as follows. Applicant explaining their application, project/proposal. Staff and commission ask questions or comment on the application. 3, general public will have an opportunity to speak in support of and in opposition to the application in the form of statements or questions. Applicant will have the opportunity to respond to public comment, provide closing statements. Staff and commission will again have an opportunity to comment. When all sides have spoken, the public hearing will be closed and no further public discussion will be entertained. After the public hearing is closed, the commission will vote on the application. Some of the rules of the public testimony is as follows. When addressing the commission, please speak into the microphone, state your name and address for the record. All comments should be addressed to the commission, not the applicant. Be relevant to the application and should not be of a personal nature. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes. Once your time has expired, please be respectful to the commission and other members for the public who want to speak. Please avoid repetitive comments. Once your public hearing is concluded, out of respect for this body, we kindly ask that the audience take any discussion about the results outside the chamber so we can continue with our business. So with that being said, I see the applicant is somewhere in the crowd. I see just one person. Please come up and state your name and address for the record and tell us about your project, sir.
Hello, my name is Matthew Izzo. I live at 10 Caputo Road. I am looking to build a oversized detached garage in the back of my property. I have some information. You guys have a packet with all the stuff. Is there any questions for me on it? Nah. I have a printed out larger color photo for you, stating out where it would be built.
How high is the building gonna be?
30 by 40, 1,200
height.
square feet. How high? 12-foot walls,
I'm sorry,
12 foot.
no, I drove by it, so,
Huh?
it's a pretty nice driveway.
The driveway is very interesting,
Yes.
especially in the wintertime.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is. But it's a work in progress.
Matt, could you describe the building you're going to construct for us?
I am looking to build a metal building. It will be matching the color of my house existing, with windows, 2 regular sized garage doors. That's about it.
They look oversized, no? Because you got 12-foot walls, so that's, 8 foot? You're going to do 8 foot or 9 foot high garage doors?
I believe I was going to, because the company suggests 10-foot doors
Okay,
because of the structure of it, so.
yep, so that's more commercial type than a regular residential building, correct? More or less?
I guess so in some standards. I'm not sure exactly.
Gotcha. Is there going to be an office in there, Matt?
No
No.
office, no bathroom, no living quarters,
Is there gonna be storage above
no,
on the roof? All right.
nope.
What's the highest point of the garage?
I am, like the peak
Yeah.
is, I believe it's 14 feet.
Okay.
So there's no real availability to even put storage above it with the height of it.
Right. Matt, how about electrical? Are we going to run electrical out there, I'm assuming?
I think at some point,
Okay.
yes. At this point, coming close to winter, I don't know if it'll be this year or not. Just trying to get it enclosed and put up to start with.
With the weather these days, man, I'm like, I mean, come on, 51 tonight? I mean, it doesn't make any sense.
Yes.
It's August, I don't get
Yep.
it, but all right.
No, exactly.
Commissioners' comments, questions?
I do have one piece of correspondence from the Regional Water Authority, who reviewed the plans and said, based on the information submitted, we have no comment. I also have the listing of the letters to the abutters, and the sign was placed on the property. So I think he's followed through on all those requirements. I have no other correspondence or phone calls or any interest from the public.
And it met the time frame, Dave? timeframe from public hearing to the letter going out to the butters? There was always an issue with that in the past for
The letter
some.
was mailed on July 25th. Plenty of time.
Yeah.
I think if I remember correctly, 10 days or something before the public hearing.
Yeah, and the form that was on file was not the proper form that the post office had, updated version. So it actually took a little longer to redo it.
Okay,
So,
gotcha.
but I had spoke with the town in the office on the revised new form that the post office has for that, for mailing it out. So,
Okay,
because what I was
Gotcha.
received was not the correct one for now, so.
We'll make
Okay.
sure we update our form in the office.
that would be awesome if you could do that.
Mhm.
Anyone else have any questions, comments? No? Well, seeing that, thank you, Matt, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
I guess I'm going to open it up to public comment, but unfortunately, there is no one here. So we're going to open the public hearing, and I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
I make a motion to close the public hearing for application number 2025-6.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second?
Second.
All right, second by Ron, motion by Barry, second by Ron. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I should have said any discussion, but I think we're good. All right, so public hearing is closed. We got the staff comments. Any further comments from the commission members relative to the layout? I think we're in good shape, but I'll leave it at that. Hearing none, then what I'll do is entertain a motion to approve the application as submitted, unless there's an objection from the commission members. That I'm missing something? Okay. Did I miss anything, Dave? Am I
Nope.
on track? Okay,
Nope,
cool.
we're good.
Good, good, good.
I make a motion to approve planning and zoning application number 2025-6, special use permit request under section 44.6.1.f to allow for the construction of an oversized detached garage, 40 by 30 feet, 1,200 square feet, in the rear yard at 10 Caputo Road, map 23, lot 20B, R40 zone. Applicant owner Matthew Izzo as described in the submitted application document, with the following standard condition 2 and special condition 21. 21 reads, shall not be used for commercial use or as a dwelling unit.
Second.
Motion by Barry, second by Ron. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carries 4-0. Good luck, Matt.
Thank you very much,
Appreciate it.
everybody.
We have, the next item on the agenda is application 2025 under there's nothing under new business, old business. Under new business, we have application 2025-7, 195 Foxen Road, B1 zone, but the applicant has withdrawn the application, so there's no need to discuss it. But however, I entertain a motion to incorporate as 6B, an 824 referral for the extension of a sewer main from 286 Branford Road across 139 to 1599 Foxen Road.
I make a motion, we add the 824 referral involving the sewer main from 286 Brantford Road across Route 139 to 1599 Foxen Road.
We have do we have a second?
Second.
Motion by Barry, second by Ron to incorporate new item 6B, 824 referral. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 4-0. 824 referral 6B. So apparently, my understanding is Starbucks is looking to connect their sewer, and the sewer main in their proposal, instead of incorporating a pump house, which the DOT was against, or not encouraging it, Starbucks decided to run a sewer line from the Starbucks location across 139, parallel to Route 80, in front of the old location for the town hall, and connect to the sewer in front of the funeral home, if I'm understanding that. So far, so good?
Yep. The original plan was to go on the highway right-of-way, and the highway did not like that. The DOT did not like that.
Okay, so why don't I just read what you typed up? That would be pretty good. Hello. An 824 referral has been requested to extend a sewer main from 286 Branford Road across 139 to 1599 Foxen Road. The main will continue in a 25-foot right-of-way around the frontage of the lot of 1599. Once constructed, this will be a town-owned sewer line. The engineers will develop easement language for the right-of-way so that the town can maintain access to the sewer line in case ownership of the property changes, which is 1599. State statute mandates that the Planning and Zoning Commission prepare a report when a municipality wishes to extend a sewer line. Positive report is recommended since the plan of conservation developed on page 51 states that a goal of the plan is to continue to expand sanitary sewer service along Route 80. Sincerely, Dave Perkins, 821-25. Questions or comments, other than it being very tiny print? So it looks like it's up against the toe slope for the fill for Route 80. Dave, the only concern I have is its location on that right corner. If we're to develop the property, is that going to take away the ability to develop that corner of the lot?
On 139?
On 139 at the intersection of Route 80. Right, because it's at the toe slope, so if that's, and again, the perspective from the curve, from the back of sidewalk to the main, I have difficulty in.
It's a slope in there,
Right, but that doesn't mean that it's always going to be a slope,
correct.
right? So if the property gets sold, that is the low point of the property, if you're familiar with it. But at the high end of the property, where the parking lot was and the old historical building, if a developer were to say, I can level that and take that piece of dirt, flop it over here, now the lot becomes almost level all the way across by that flipping of cutting and filling of soil. And I didn't want that to take away from the location, the ability to further develop that corner. That means that this whole corner would be out of commission for development of a building on it. But you can still put a sidewalk, a green area in front of it, if the building was closer to the road. And I'm just referring to one of the concept drawings we had for 1599 back in, I think it was '06, where there was a building, a kitty cooney building that paralleled 80 and another building paralleled 139, and they didn't want to take away from the further make it any more difficult.
I think you could still fill that area. The sewer line would just be further down, as long as you're not building on
Over
top
it.
of it.
Right,
So
you
you
wouldn't
could
be able-
have park
right.
space in front of it on the corner.
Right. I don't think Route 80 is the issue, it's just that corner. Again, I don't know, I don't have a good concept of what would be there, but how it would fit, you know? And I didn't want, because this is a proposal, right? So if Starbucks was to put it in, he'll need to follow this plan and not change it,
Correct.
and not go across the lot and really put a hurting on us, because it would take away valuable use of the property with the sewer going right across it.
I'm not sure that we really thought that was usable space from a town staff point of view. We
Right.
thought the fact that a sewer was being put in there in the first place would be more conductive to developing the lot than taking away the use of that corner. Or else they would have had to put their own sewer in or do septics on the field. So it's a plus from that point of view.
Okay. Gotcha. So North Branford staff has looked at it and said this is probably the best place to put it at this point in time?
We did get it moved as far as we could, closer to the road. And we got the right-of-way narrowed. I think it may only be a 10-foot right-of-way rather than a 25-foot right-of-way, because they really don't need much more than that.
Does that sewer go behind the cemetery that's adjacent?
Yes,
It does.
there is an easement back there.
Is that going through the parking lot? I see parking spaces through there.
Yes.
Okay. Dave, you know the depth of the sewer main? How deep it's below the grade of the road, grade of the sidewalk or whatever? Any idea? Because I can't read it.
I could get you that plan if you want it.
I got it, Dave.
What?
I got it.
What's the number?
12 feet. At the corner by the cemetery, it's 12 feet deep. And it's about 9 at the corner. So it goes up as it gets back to Starbucks. Oh, I'm sorry. It's deeper than that. No, that's 94. Yeah, 12 feet, top of frame. It's about 12 feet all the way along. Once he crosses 139, it's 12 feet deep at that first manhole where he turns and goes to Route 80. Okay. What's the commission, how does the commission feel about it? I mean, I like the proposal for the sewer main for our use. That's a bonus.
Yeah.
Is the rest of the plaza hooked up to sewers?
It's about 30 feet,
Yes.
30 feet deep at the end. 30-foot slope.
Okay. Tying in, Dave, at on
Notch Hill Road.
Notch Hill?
Oh, okay.
Wow, that means deep over there. Okay. I think well, I speak for myself, I like the proposal. I think it's a good move. It saves us some benefit when we go to move on 1599. And it's certainly deep enough for the property being developed to tie in without having an issue. Dave, you have that map up?
The map?
Yeah, that was submitted in 824. So the only question we have, if we're considering, what's the diameter, 4 inch?
8 inch.
That's an 8-inch main?
Yeah.
Bonus. Wow. So with regard to the 824 referral, so as a commission, why don't we entertain a motion to adopt the 824 referral for the town council? We'll do that? I think that's a good idea.
I'll make a motion to adopt the 824 referral to extend a sewer main from 286 Branford Road across Route 139 to 1599 Foxham Road.
Okay, we have a second?
Second.
Motion by Barry, second by Ron. The question in front of the commission is to approve the referral as the attached map shows the sewer line to follow 139 and Route 80 on a 10-foot right-of-way at the toe of slope, more or
It's
less.
a 20-foot right away.
20 foot?
Yeah.
My bad. 20-foot right-of-way. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Motion carries 4-0. Thanks, Dave. Good to go. Next item on the agenda is other business, Schedule A discussion. This is our latest and greatest Schedule A update.
Yep.
Has there been any changes lately, Dave, on this one, in the last couple of months since my absence?
No, this was
Okay.
from July. And I think we were pretty much clear on the verbiage,
Okay.
and we were looking more on the yellow sections and the actual uses and where things are allowed and what's allowed. So I suppose on the first one, the bed and breakfast, we were going to add bed and breakfast into that category. And then it said PA, which means subject to the actual regulation of bed and breakfast and the letting of rooms. I mean, it seems a little bit strange that we allow it in industrial zones, but I suppose that we have pre-existing non-conforming residential uses in industrial zones, so it would be permitted in that area because you wouldn't be allowed to build a new house in an industrial zone anyway, right? So it sort of makes sense. I think the next section down, the farm brewery and farm outdoor events, is something that we want to discuss probably on a more specific basis, rather than taking it as part of the overall change to the structure of the table.
Okay. So you're thinking to just, right, at this point in time, just say,
Just leave it the way it is.
leave as is, right? Okay. When you highlighted 6.3, were you referring to actually wanted to highlight 6.4?
Yeah, 6.4 should have been the highlighted portion of
Okay.
it. The building and uses, the buildings, use, and facilities, state of Connecticut, federal government, any other government unit, they're not allowed in the residential zone. They're allowed by special permit in the business zones and all the industrial zones. Should they be allowed in the residential zones also, or does it make sense that we don't allow them? I think we can probably just leave that one alone also.
I'm just thinking of ACES, right? Because that's in a B3, right?
Correct.
And that used to be residential? Where, because it was a school, right? ACES up at, across from the library,
Right.
right?
And that is for sale,
Oh,
if you're not aware. They're consolidating their campuses in North Haven, and they're basically closing down all their satellite businesses, so they're
Yeah.
gonna operate through this school year and then consolidate next year in North Haven. So they're looking for purchasers now ahead of time.
wow. Interesting.
So in a B3 zone, it could be residential, but again, our residential regulations only allow 6 units per building. So you'd only get 6 units in that big building. You could do an 830G would be something that would make sense for somebody to try to do there, or else use it as a school or a church or an institutional use,
Or a museum,
or a museum, now that we allow those.
yes. Oh, but not in a B3.
Okay, well, let's put them in a B3.
Well, I thought we're gonna eliminate a B3 anyway. 'cause
Yes,
there's
we
only-
were, yeah. that's
There's
what
only
I remember,
3
yeah.
locations.
Yes.
I think 3. Yeah, 3. Yep. So for now, we'll leave it as is?
Yeah,
Okay. Then churches, residential, and industrial.
yeah, I mean, it seems silly that we don't allow churches in residential zones or industrial zones. Because most of them are in
Residential,
residential zones.
right?
Yeah.
So we could make those U's in a residential zone,
All right.
and in the industrial zone, they could be U's.
I think that's fair.
I'm thinking of the former Eklund Manufacturing in Branford on Route 1,
Okay.
that has a whole bunch of little churches in it.
Oh, wow. And the U protects us from us just making it a by right.
So we'll
they
make
got
it a,
special use,
Special
special
use.
permit. Unless they move into the ACES,
right.
then it's by right. Okay. Museums, U.
So should we put them used all the way across?
I don't see why not. What do you guys think? Museum and industrial, sure.
Yeah.
And then the next one was indoor theaters and assembly halls. Not allowed in the I-1 and I-2 zone. Seems like that might be a reasonable place for it if you're going to have a church there.
I have no objection to that, making it a U. How about you folks? You good with it?
Yeah.
A U or S?
A U. I think anything that we're changing, I recommend we keep it a U,
Yeah,
which is a special permit,
yeah,
in case we're missing something along the way that,
okay.
why do we make it a special, a right instead of a special permit? So then we go to what, C9, Dave?
Yeah, and it seems to me that you could have a commercial recreational facility in the I-2 zone as well as the I-3 zone. It was sort of carved out to only be in the I-3 zone when they applied for it.
Yeah.
And you need a certain amount of acreage and everything else to make it work anyway.
In the I2?
Yeah.
Me personally, I don't know how the commission members feel, but it kind of falls in the farm outdoor events as special discussion, leave as is.
Okay.
At least for this discussion, I'd like to pass on that one if the commission's okay with that.
Yeah.
Domestic animal daycare, Dave?
Again, it would, if it was a U in the residential zones, it would be a reasonable use. It's a farming community, we have a lot of open space, and why lock them down to our small business zones?
Yeah, and it probably is already occurring now. Right, I remember I think there's a horse rescue on Arbor Road Extension.
Yeah.
That might be no, that's North American. Or was. So that could be considered a daycare. I'm okay with that. How about you folks?
Yep.
Make it a U?
Yeah.
Okay. So C5, Dave, you want to change the title to incorporate takeout fast food for under food and hospitality? Is that what you want to do? Or you're recommending?
Well, it was totally confusing as to the difference between C5 and 5.1. Restaurants and other food and beverage service establishments versus indoor restaurants and other food. Does that assume that C5 are outdoor ones? And then the only change in the use was that indoor restaurants are allowed much more than regular ones. It's just totally confusing. So we would just say restaurants, takeout / fast food restaurants, drive-through restaurants, dining facility, and beverage service establishments, and allow them by special permit in the business zones.
So are you thinking to merge C5 and C1 to have C5 renamed as you stated, and then carry the special permit up for B3, I2, and I3? Were you thinking of merging the two uses?
Yeah, it could be on all the business zones. Do you want to have the restaurants and industrial zones as well? That seems a little,
I don't know if they don't exist or, well, actually they do. Unless it's under something else.
well, if they're by special permit, then we can make it work, right?
I'm just,
So-
the only,
Yeah.
go ahead.
So, are you saying get rid of C5.1 and add the verbiage, takeout, fast food restaurant, drive-through restaurant, dining facility to C5?
Yeah,
And then do you want to move the U to the the B3 and I2 and I3 as a U?
correct.
Okay.
The I3 is confusing because of the fact that a very large piece of property in town that's been around 380 years, 400 years, has a winery on it in an I3 zone. So I would make it a U
Right,
in I2 and I3.
right.
Okay.
And then it's not highlighted, but the next one down, hotels and motels
Yep.
and restaurants are allowed in the B1 and the I3. You would think we'd want to have hotels in more locations. At least in all the business districts.
So are we changing, suggested that we change the I3S to a special permit?
I would think so, yeah.
Okay.
I don't think you just want to let hotels and motels pop up by site plan approval.
Right, because that's the way it's dictated right now.
Correct.
Okay. So the same thing in B1, 2, and 3?
Yeah, by you.
Okay. By adding or incorporating restaurants into the title, if you have a hotel and motel, we're saying that it's not ancillary to it. Right, if the guy has a motel with a restaurant on it, like the gas station has a convenience store, right?
Right.
To the gas station, it's ancillary to the gas station, right?
Right.
Okay.
And that's what it says, right?
Right, that's why it's in this title,
Right.
right?
Yeah. Yeah, because you have a typical hotels and motels have a swimming pool and a restaurant and game room.
Sure, yep, all inclusive.
I guess that was pretty much where we were.
Okay.
So why don't I clean it up and put it together again, and we'll talk about it in 2 weeks.
So what did you want to do for alcohol beverage? Why, we didn't put anything in there? You want to leave it for now? Okay, fair enough. Thanks, Dave, on that item. Next item on the agenda on other business is Town Center Form-Based Code Presentation and Discussion. Dave put together a form-based zoning for Northford and North Branford Town Design Districts. He put together a package for the commission. Dave's going to walk us through some of the highlights of the package online. Not online, but on the screen behind us,
Maybe.
if it gets it to work. So for those at home, be patient. We'll get this going in a second.
We're gonna have to kill words.
There you go. Can you see that?
Yep, looks good. Chris, can you see it?
I can see it, yeah.
Okay.
So this would work for the two town center districts in Northford and North Branford. As defined in the area here, these are the purposes: to create a mixed-use walkable district with a hometown feel, ensure the new development creates characteristics of an established neighborhood, objectives, here are some definitions. Our zoning regulations right now call for a 50-foot setback from the street to a building. So we have strip malls and all sorts of buildings around town, and we mandate distances from sidelines and rear lines. And what this form code does is it allows you to be much closer to the street, so that the buildings under Section A, the primary front setback has to be between 10 and 20 feet off the road. Are you good?
No, we're good.
We may want to adjust this a little bit and make it maybe 10 feet to 30 feet, since we have that right-of-way we have to deal with at 1599, which is one of our pieces, or we can have a carve-out for that. But basically, your setbacks are minimum and maximum as opposed to just maximum.
So right now, Dave, ours is 50 feet, right?
Correct. So that's sort of the highlight of the setbacks. Basically, what you have are massings of buildings. So in this case, you can have 3 massings of buildings, a maximum of 3 buildings connected to each other. And this is showing you examples of 2 buildings adjoined to each other. This just talks about details more about the actual maximum height, number of stories.
Dave, could you go back for a second to
Sure.
that picture? To the buildings, more the buildings, right? So I think what we're looking at is future development in North Branford or Northford. We're trying to provide a design concept for those who want to develop their property in those corridors. And this depiction doesn't gives us a better idea of the depth and width of the building versus a monolithic look that currently exists in Northford. You have the strip mall square across, there's no depth to it, no definition like these pictures demonstrate. So if you wanted to build something new, this design concept would help those who want to develop in the town, give them idea of what future development would look like.
Because right now, you can build whatever you want, as long as it's no longer than 30 feet high and fits on the lot and doesn't cover it by more than X percentage, and you can just build anything. This gives you design criteria. Is that good?
Yes, sir. Yep, thank you.
And part of it is this great word, fenestration, which is the number of glass windows that are on the facade of a building, and whether they're real windows or fake windows. You know, right now we have buildings that look like it has windows, but they really aren't windows. They just look like they're windows. So this would create facades that have a certain amount of fenestration. So there's more details in here, but you're better off if you're looking at this piece here. So again, this gives you maximum sizing of the primary massing of the building. So if you look at the, there's a short front and there's a long front. So if the narrow end is oriented front, it can be a maximum of 40 feet, 45 feet wide. And it can have a maximum depth of 90 feet. So the first building you build can be no larger than 45 by 90, or if the long side is oriented front, it's 65 feet, and the depth would be 45 feet. These numbers can be changed, but this would stop any large, big box building from being constructed.
So no big box stores like Rite Aid or Walgreens or Walmart?
Well,
Right.
those would be larger than 45 by 90 is what, like 4,500 square feet? Yeah.
Yep.
But you can connect 3 buildings together. You just don't have one massive building. So if you go down further, and you can add additions on to the sides, you can add dormers to give it some character. And then here's where you can connect the buildings together. You see that? Where you can connect them this way.
So I'd ask the commission members to consider the sketches as if it were, does it fit into North Branford farming characteristics or the feel for the historical district of Northford with the different facades and layout? Because that's really the ultimate question when it comes down to those watching this tonight and those who were going to appear in front of a public hearing at some point in time, does it fit in with the town concept? Well, we're trying to develop a town concept, and right now we don't really have one. We have Rite Aid, we have Northford Store, we have strip malls, we got gas stations and everything like up there, so we're not asking anybody to demo their building and put this up, but we're just looking at something from a design concept to give them the ability to build something that would fit into the character of the town, instead of leaving it as is. I mean, did I speak out of turn, or does that make sense?
So this would allow for buildings to be placed in Northford Center, close to the road, where we only have parking lot now with parking in the back. So we could get new development in those areas where right now it's not allowed because you have to be 50 feet back from the road.
Being a visual person, this concept is more like downtown Guilford, where you can stroll from one store to the next store to the next store without, like we have now in Nordford. You gotta get in your car to drive from the strip mall, get up back on Middletown Avenue, go around to the Nordford store. Lends itself more to sidewalks, strolling, more retail, and the ability to get more, with more retail stores, they pay more taxes. So this actually will help our tax base.
Right.
Hmm?
Right, Ron.
And I think the concept lends itself to the colonial aspect of downtown Nordford, with the stone church and St. Andrews, the white steeple and all that.
So, let me ask the commission this question. Does the Northford Center, those who've driven through it, it's really the village of Northford. Is it a village? Does it appear to a village? There's a concept to what a village is, and each one of us have a different idea of what Northford should look like, besides just leaving it just the way it is, which the vast majority of the public, I wouldn't say that. There's some advocates who just want to leave everything just the way it is and don't change anything. Then there's some of us who believe that there should be movement in the positive direction to have it be more appealing, to get more people to stop at those stores that are currently in there, but this is just giving them another ability to, I don't know, be more attractive, I'll say, and attract more people to stop in, as this is going to be tied into with the redevelopment of, or realignment of 22 and 17 through the whole corridor, right, from the gas station to Angelo's Pizzeria or the library, right? That's why we're bringing this forward, to try to tie the two together, so not to say that this is going to be, we're going to go do this, but it's a concept for us and future members of the commission to say that this is what we all agreed, that the future of Northford or North Branford should progress in that way for future development.
And it would allow for infill, which we currently don't allow. So you could get closer to the road and be able to walk on a sidewalk and walk from one end to the other end and actually have a retail experience while you're walking.
Right. So,
Have we brought this up with the economic developer to see if they're in agreement that this could make it more attractive for businesses to come, or have we
Yes,
shared it with them?
yes, they've been spoken with some, but they will get more as we get into it.
Okay.
right, because this again, we're getting down, we're kind of like in the branches of the tree. We went from the treetop to about the middle of the tree. The bottom of the tree, the roots, is when we get to our public hearing. We got to work our way to that and work through this. Go ahead, David, unless anybody else has any questions or comments?
So again, these are frontage types, porches, sidewalk
Dave.
activities.
Could you back up to the porch, please? So, in our plans right now, we have a porch detail, and it's dated 1970-something, but it doesn't give you the concept as it's attached to a building. So we do have design concepts, so this would replace and improve the little hand sketches we have in our zoning regulations. It gives you depth, gives you perspective of what the commission would anticipate someone putting a front walkway across their building.
So, and again, the placement of the building has to be, as this is currently written, between 10 feet and 20 feet away. So with this kind of an arrangement, the building is 16 feet back with an 8-foot porch area and then an 8-foot sidewalk in front of it, and then the street. So there are details in these charts as to specific distances from the building to the street and the sidewalk. This, of course, allows for residential on the second floor and the third floor would be allowed, notwithstanding our current 6 units per dwelling unit. You'd be allowed to have as many as you wanted to, as long as you meet the parking situation. So this is all basically driven by parking. So for 1,000 square feet of a restaurant, you're going to need 4 parking spaces, and so forth and so on. So the first thing a developer is going to have to do is look at how much square footage they want to build and how much parking that's going to require. And then you can figure out how many square feet of space you can develop. There's also a maximum of 80% coverage. There's also recommendations of public spaces, which I think we should get into a little bit more specifically to mandate a certain amount of public space based on the square footage of the development, so that there are outside seating areas and green space. But parking is critical to determining what you can actually do. Design guidelines. D, the typing color should be kept to a minimum, preferably 3 or less. Appearance of natural materials such as wood or stone. I think somewhere in here we talk about farming community. Yeah, G, site landscaping shall prioritize the use of materials that are common to North Branford's agrarian cultural history, such as short stone walls, pervious ground covers, and wood decking.
One of the challenges we faced with 1599 was the fact that we want to sell the property as a town, but we just don't want a big box store going in there without having some guidelines. And these guidelines go far and beyond what we as a commission could ever put together and what our regulations currently dictate. When we were discussing the Starbucks, we were getting into performance standards, expecting the commercial developer to provide us A, B, and C specific to what type of stone, what kind of wall, what kind of this. And this is more of a performance standard for anybody who wants to develop in those towns, that we expect you to give us this. And it puts it in writing, whereas we were just discussing it, but didn't have any backup to substantiate and push forth to the commercial business what our expectation was, because it wasn't in any regulations. It was a desire by us, but nothing that we could, it was volunteer on their part to do it. There wasn't, nothing mandated for them to do it. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. We were here.
Yeah. And we still don't know what it's gonna look like
Exactly.
till it's done. Is that about right, David? It's a performance standard is what we're kind of putting forth, right?
Yeah, because, as I said before, as long as you meet the setback requirements, you can build pretty much anything you want.
And that's kind of how Northford came to be. As Ron would call it, the mall, then we have wagging signs, and we have illuminated signs, and then we have all kinds of different hodgepodge of different things, but nothing really to, as our previous member, holistically bring everything together. And I think this plan kind of brings it together for us. It's a work in progress. It's not perfect, but it's a good step in the right direction, in my opinion. Dave, I think what will go a long way in moving this forward is, in the future, as we progress as a commission to digest a lot of these concepts, is what towns have done, what towns could we show that actually have these measures in place from a pictorial standpoint of view that would represent maybe before and after, or something that is currently exists that has brought this forward into their community. I think it would go a long way in painting a picture for everybody, because
There are documents on the website.
okay,
On the Planning and Zoning Department page, there are links to form-based design, and there's a bunch of videos and PDFs and websites that you can look at that show that. But I'd be more than happy to do it at our next meeting.
so that's on our North Branford Town website under Planning and Zoning?
Yes.
Okay. So, Dave, is this a draft document on there yet? It was August 15th, so I don't know.
The newest one is not up yet, but I'll put it up tomorrow.
Okay, so those are interested in reviewing it, please take the time to go to the town website and do some homework, do some reading, see what you think about it. And we'll meet again on this topic at the next meeting. So any questions, concerns from the commissioners?
Oh, I guess my big concern or question is, you know, I like these concepts. I think they're great. It's a good plan to start. But right now, in the center of Northford, there's a little turmoil with the Rite Aid site.
Oh, there is. Is
Yeah,
there?
on what's going in there, and, you know, it's a large building. Will it fit into this concept? That's my question. And I'm sure nobody has the answer. I mean,
What's existing is existing. This would be infill, new development.
Right. Unless so, correct me if I'm wrong, Dave, if someone buys the property, right, and it's a Rite Aid, he can put a Rite Aid back, or Walgreens or whatever else in the same building, right?
Yes.
So if he were to do something different, it would be a site plan change of the facade, if he's not gonna have one entrance, if he's gonna put apartments on the top floor, or whatever he's going to, whatever building change he's going to make, he has to come in front of us. Is that right?
If it's a substantially different
Substantially?
use, yeah.
Right, okay. Okay.
And we have seen no permits or application for that building.
That answer the question, Ron?
Yes.
Right. Well, whatever's in B1 could go in there, right?
Right.
For the B1, B2? I forget which one it is.
So sort of on that topic, I was addressed by SPI, or a representative for SPI, who is at 524 Forest Road. And they came and applied for this building down by the river as an additional building on their lot. And part of the plan was that they have this,
The green Quonset hut, I'll call it.
yeah, relocated cover-it building. You know the building I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
They were just gonna relocate it. So what they wanna do now is tear it down and build another structure in that same basic location. They're gonna have to tie it into this retaining wall. And I believe that this is the setback line, so they're gonna have to determine what to do. And the question is, do they need to come back for site plan modification approval?
From,
It doesn't change the amount of parking, it doesn't affect the drainage system.
right, the only thing I would state is, from the commission standpoint of view, I think we always want to see it. What's he going to build?
Right.
If he's tearing it down and putting up something new, I don't think we want to have no eyes on it. That's my opinion. What do you think, commissioners?
Good point.
Good point.
Right, he's completely changing from a green cover to something, well, why did the town approve that?
Right.
Obviously, we're looking for something that conforms to the existing building, so it fits in, POCD, the whole 9 yards.
And this one you're gonna see from the road, this
Gonna
one's down here,
Right,
you really can't see it from that point.
right. Yeah, and then we don't know what he's gonna do in there. Gonna put a second floor, he could prove a second floor, and we wouldn't even know it, so, yeah, we wanna see it in front,
Perfect.
okay? So that's a site plan modification, right, Dave?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have anything else on your?
There are also a
Yes, sir.
few, Chase Bank is looking at taking over the bank by the Big Y. Was it TD Bank?
TD Bank.
And they want to do some minor site plan changes, which really are minor. They're eliminating one of the drive-through lanes. They're increasing a little bit of parking, and they're changing some lighting.
Facade changes?
No, just signage.
Okay. TD Bank's green and Chase is red, white, and blue, no?
Well, as I get closer to getting plans from them, I will keep in touch with you guys.
That'd be advisable. We want to make sure we're on track again with that property, what it looks like, so we don't want any dramatic changes, and definitely, we don't want your phone to ring.
Right, but again, going back to what you said before, it's a bank, it's a bank, it's a bank.
Bank's a bank, correct. Yeah. Minor changes, not too bad, but we're changing colors, that's a little different. Or facade changes. right? So the bank stays a bank, that's fine, as long as it
Right.
doesn't change the outside. As if, like Guilford Saving Bank changed names.
Right.
But the bank stays the same.
Right.
Here's a new sign. Right, so if they take off TD and put Chase, okay. Right,
That's pretty much it, yeah.
okay. I'm okay with that.
Except, I mean, the drive-through, removing the drive-through lane would be an improvement
Right,
in terms of circulation.
the overall functionality of the property doesn't really change unless I'm missing something. Right,
Yeah, I mean, our zoning regulations say that site plan modifications that don't impact parking may be administratively approved.
right.
It's a pretty blanket statement.
In this case, it improves parking, eliminates the drive-through lane
Yeah,
or flow. Right? Okay. I'm okay with that, Dave.
okay. I also had 750 Road has been purchased by, I'm blanking, Cherry Hill Construction, was the old bus terminal on Zero Road.
Oh, okay.
And they bought it, and they've gone in and cut down all the trees and filled all the backyard and did all sorts of things that would require a special temporary soil grading permit, which they don't have. But they've done it anyway. So I'm meeting with them tomorrow morning. We have an enforcement issue, and I assume what they want to do would be okay, but they should be asking permission, not forgiveness.
Right. Any other changes to the property that they're proposing right now?
They want to put parking in the back and process behind that and create a space for a new tenant to come in and use the facility.
Okay.
But this was all news to me as I drove down Zero Road, and the whole road was caked with dirt because they didn't have any anti-tracking pads or anything else. They did have silt fences.
Okay. That's a telltale sign, so that's a site plan to us, I would assume,
Yes.
right? Okay.
So I'll keep you abreast of the situation.
Roger that. The, nothing, no word on the propane, aren't they on Zero Road?
They have started.
They have,
Oh, yeah.
okay. Cool,
Yeah, it's all flat. They're ready to start building.
all right. Wow,
Great.
good deal. Anything else, Dave?
And the fence company hasn't started working back behind that. We approved the fence company to go in on 32, I think it's 32 Zero
Not the one
Road.
that goes up like this in the
Yeah.
back? I didn't remember what the
They were gonna
business
clear
was.
out that little area, I think, in the back of the property. Yeah. Pretty good.
What could you share with us on, do you have anything else, Dave? Could you give us an update on, because you had said we got the money for, we're doing survey for the.
The Northford
17?
Center study, we're doing the survey now to determine all the heights of sidewalks and all the different grades, all the way from the community center up to the library, so that the engineers can actually develop a plan that we can use to continue the process.
Okay. So that information gets us to the next level to present to the consultant to develop?
Correct.
Right, and then they would build from those, they would develop plans.
We had these, right, we had theoretical plans.
Theoretical.
But now we have actual heights and distances and know what we can do to develop different operations. Like in front of the Episcopal Church, how we were going to deal with that intersection and how you get into the church. We don't know what the steepness is of that bank or how high it is or how wide the road is or anything. So once we get those details, we can make a much better plan.
Okay. And that's what you're talking about, November, December presentation possible?
I would hope so, yes.
Okay. Based on the survey data?
Yeah, once they get the survey data and complete the plan, then we'll present it to the public again.
Okay. All right, very good. Thank you. Anything else?
I think that's enough.
Time's up. All right, with that being said, we're moving on to item number 9.
One quick question
yes, sir.
before
I'm
we
sorry.
move into that. A lot of people are concerned about the rotary.
Rotary.
Is that still in the mix? Do we have any control over that?
I don't think we have control over that. It depends on, well, we had one public hearing that I attended with another commission member, and I thought there was a certain, the public could go in and vote which one they wanted
Correct.
to do, and I thought the Rotary didn't make it. But that'll be the end of the, maybe.
The Rotary is not in the list of concepts anymore.
There you go.
Very good. I have an answer now when they ask me.
I think everybody who watches will also know.
One of the concepts in the plan that the survey will help address is the intersection of Clintonville Road in front of the Mansfield Road, and whether we can make that section two-way rather than one-way. And we determine the steepness of that slope and go back and work with the DOT. We can see if that will happen. But we did just get a lot of feedback from the DOT on our plans of like 6 weeks ago. So we're pushing that. We're getting busy again.
Is the intersection of 150 and 22 in the mix there?
No.
50 and 22 with the angle,
Yes.
that didn't make it. That was in the original study, but our particular study is only from the church to STW and Dunkin' Donuts.
So is anyone working on that?
No, we didn't. That's our next one. That was part of the 2006 study for the Northbridge Center. They were both at the same time.
I think that the rumble strip concept meeting that may be going on tonight,
6 o'clock.
yeah, is sort of trying to address that. I'm sure that subject will come up at that meeting.
Okay. It needs to be taken care of. You're right, Ron, it's bad.
I was put up on the guardrail, so I know,
Yeah,
I know that intersection well. Item 9,
Item 9.
it is with heavy heart. I motion we adjourn.
Second.
All right. We have a motion, we have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. This concludes the meeting, 7:53. Thank you for coming.